Good morning, good people, fellow humans. And when I say humans, I spell it Huemonds, colorful nuts. Well, we got a little bit behind the curve here. And that's kind of what happens when I'm ahead of the game. I've got 5 minutes ahead of the game. I decide I'm going to do something a little bit different. And then I get a little bit behind the game. It sounds like somebody here's playing a recorder. Not well. Okay, so here we are, Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help our students and other interested people on their journey through this life. Good morning, what not a bevy, hanging on by our fingertips. Good morning, Maticus von Atticus. Guten Morgen, the Field Marshal, the Untersergeant Ordinaire is back. Boom, good to see you. And what not a bevy is crying, not well. What's wrong? What not a bevy? You say buenos dias, and then you say not well. Does that mean you're sick? Sick? Oh, you said recorder. Yes, the recorder. Not well? Yes. Someone is playing it not well. They're just doing boom, boom, boom. I'm amazing. Wow. And you're got humility. Okay, so here we are. Let's see, this is day 364 with Zippeleton, 364 straight. So far, I've already done my 10 minutes of full body stretch and yoga. Yeah, 10 minutes each. Wow, that's a tough one. Good. Okay, so here we are, Monday. Our theme of today, the meme theme of today is crisis leadership, brought to you by Professor Nancy Kane from Harvard Business School, who has been very supportive of us, especially the women in our program, for the last 9 years. Wow. Okay, that's right. What not a baby. Cuckoo luku. Okay, so we're going to talk about crisis leadership. And all of the Protestants who believe we're in end times, you should take heed to that, because you need it more than ever if you believe we are actually in end times. We'll talk more about that. Advice from an 80-year-old. A little bit of keeping us rooted in the past. And when I say rooted, I don't mean it in the Australian sense, Advice from an 80-year-old. Okay, who stole the advice from an 80-year-old? Here it is. Be a good what? What not a bevy? Be a good what? Be a good what? Yes, Maticus von Atticus, I think that Pastor Tony is on your side, ready to go to battle for you too. Yeah, the camera stuff would be important to see if it's actually being thrown in your car. Okay, I thought we just did loser, right? Winner, be a good winner. Why? Why is it important to be a good winner? Think about Jordan Peterson. Nice cup of coffee with my coconut oil for the brain. That's a brain. I thought we just did loser. Yes, we did just do loser. Why is it important to be a good winner? Okay, while you're doing that, moving on to Seth Godin. We are not worthy. Another big supporter. Leading side by side. Leading side by side. This is sort of part of the Navy SEAL creed. Sort of. Okay, orchestras are difficult. One reason is we're really good at noticing when they're out of tune. Just a bit off changes our perception of the sound. Correct. The other reason is that if the performers wait for a leader in their section to go first, every entrance and every attack will be muddled. You need to go when it's time to go, not wait to follow closely behind. Coordinating our tone and our tempo creates magic, and yet we often fail to lead, preferring to follow instead. Right. So I lead when I need to lead, I follow when I need to follow. This one is about leading side by side. When the thing is to jump, to attack, we don't wait. Not always. This is just those particular times. Just pointing out there's a particular time. There is a time for everything under the sun. Probably not. But, okay, what does Watanabe say? Because when I win, we all win. No, it's the same answer as yesterday. Because people will want to play with you. If you're not a good winner, people won't want to play with you. In your face, Neil Armstrong, nobody's going to want to play. You suck. You suck. They're not going to want to play with you again. But as Jordan Peterson says, so in that game, good idea, Matt. In that game where somebody gives you $100, there's 3 people involved in the game. Somebody with $100. He gives you $100. Or he's willing to give you $100, but you say to the other person, I'll give you X of the 100. If the person accepts it, you both get the money. If the person rejects it, you get nothing. So I'm holding $100. I say to Watanabe, okay, here it is. And Watanabe makes an offer to Matt to give Matt part of the $100. And Matt, if Matt accepts what Sophie offers, I give Sophie the money, and she gives Matt his share. If Matt says no, nobody gets any money. So it's a great game to play. I don't remember what it's called, but so typically people think if Sophie gives Matt $50, anywhere between 25 and 50, offers him 25 to 50, he'll take it on the basis whatever he gets is better than nothing. Okay, and that always works unless next Matt is the one the offer is made to. And there's another person, let's say Diana. Say Diana is the one who accepts or rejects. Or the players get to choose who they want to play with. So Jordan Peterson says, if you give the other person, say 60, I'll give you 60. What's going to happen? Everyone is going to play with you. So you're going to get $40 times everyone else who's going to play. If it's like, oh, I'm going to keep 90 and give you 10, 10 is better than nothing, the next time somebody gets to play, they're not going to want to play with you. But if you give them more, everyone will play with you. So it's good to be a good winner. Ba-boom, bam, bing. When you win, we all win. No, not really. Sometimes people lose, and that's okay because maybe they win in a different way. Maybe they learn, right? You want to compete against people better than you because you learn more. Right. Get in the ring every day with somebody better than you with the goal of I am a student here to learn. Not I'm here to get punished because I'm not worthy. Okay. Time is racing. We've got 3 red letter things today. TED Talk, Nancy Kane, Crisis Leadership. We're going to talk about that. Daily Stoic, Adversity. That's a good one. Don't look at adversity as, oh man, this sucks. Look at it and thank you, life, for giving me this other challenge, this other ability to learn, to grow from this experience. And Seth Bogg leading side by side, which we just talked about. So Nancy Kane, crisis leadership, crisis leadership. Okay, so this week is week 4 in our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. Somebody said lift it up so that they could see this part down here, that person. Okay. Don't hide behind the cover. Not hiding behind the cover. It's right here. Ooh, 2021 edition. Need to update this. Okay. State Penn workbook. It's not Penn State. It's State Penn. Week 4, day 1, crisis leadership. This is the week about leadership. What is leadership? What is leadership? Well, that is the military term for saying power. In business, power is called management. Management. He's a good manager in the military. He's a good leader. It all comes down to power. Power is getting other people to do what you want, and it is value neutral. Power is not good or bad. It's how you use it. It's just like a hammer isn't good or bad. It's how you use it. You can use it to build things. That's good. Good hammer. You can use it to break things. Bad hammer. So power is the same thing. In itself, it is a neutral term. However, anytime you say power, people always think of manipulation. They think of it in the negative sense, right? So we don't use power. We use leadership because everybody wants to be a leader. Everybody wants to be led. It's in our genes. Okay, so to be successful, you need to get other people to do what you want. And that, again, is called what? Power, getting other people to do what you want. And there's a spectrum, positive, negative. Negative is manipulation, coercion, intimidation, putting a gun at somebody's head. That's a negative way to get people to do things. Very effective, but not really scalable. It gets progressively, you have to spend progressively more resources to use negative power to get people to do things. So like, what is a prison? Prison is a way to keep people in a certain place, but what do you have to do? You have to build walls. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to have people protecting the walls. And in California now, the cost per prisoner is greater than double the cost of going to USC. So it's like about $160,000 per person per year. Big problem, not what we're going to talk about today. Power is the thing, getting people to do what you want. Spectrum. Negative, positive, positive, motivation, compliments, getting people to do what you want by cooperation, motivation. You get out to the extreme. The extreme is self-motivation. If you can motivate people to motivate themselves, boom, winner. Like what? Like women's Bible commentary. Right. That might fall off. That might slide off. Okay. So you get people to believe there's magic in here. Magic stuff. Magic stuff. There's magic in here. And if you read it, you get to learn the magic. So what do people do? They read it. They're looking for the magic. And then they share. Hey, guys. Really good. So positive way is like the ever ready money. You wind them up. And they're going to go, and they're going to wind down, and you wind them up. And then the thing is, how many people can you wind up? A lot. But what if you can get them to wind themselves up? Wow. This guy's the limit. So that's this week, power. We start with crisis leadership. Everything is going wrong. Led by Nancy Kane, who uses 2 examples, Abraham Lincoln and Ernest Shackleton, talking about extreme crisis leadership. Lincoln through the Civil War, and Shackleton on the disastrous trip to walk across Antarctica. Ship gets stuck. Is it the Endeavor? Ship gets stuck, crushed in ice, sinks. Now the mission is to survive very harsh conditions, incredible sea journey, all people saved, miraculous thing, crisis leadership, lessons learned from crisis leadership. So Nancy Kane, Harvard Business School professor, really breaks it down well in the talk. So that's crisis leadership. Tomorrow, we're going to focus on pure leadership. You have all of the power in the world. So Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, who happened to be a Stoic philosopher, who happened to have a journal, keep journals called To Myself. That's what he'd write on the journal, To Myself, as opposed to this journal, which is about provisions for the army or German intelligence or whatever. This one is To Myself, his personal journals that he gave instructions to have burned upon his death. But the people found him and said, oh no, we can't burn that. So this is like 190, in the 190s AD, Christianity gets one little short paragraph, not paragraph, a short part of a sentence, these pesky cult. So by 190, the Christians were not a force to be reckoned with. In the next 100 years, though, they did become a force to be reckoned with, but at this time, the emperor only gives them a little note, pesky little cult. But he is writing down his thoughts, his personal thoughts. So the personal thoughts of the most important person in the world, who didn't write them for posterity. He wrote them to himself. So it's very different than Hillary Clinton's autobiography, right? Where she wants to write to the future. He's writing to himself now, burn this shit when it's over. And people get it and like, no. And so the thoughts he had are pretty provoking, pretty compelling. That's tomorrow's Stoicism Wednesday, practical leadership. So crisis leadership, great lessons today. Tomorrow, pure leadership. And then the rest of the week, practical leadership, using Ignatius of Loyola as our example, a man after our own heart, a guy who started well, lost everything, mental collapse, praying, beating himself for his past sins as a soldier, becomes a lone nut, gets his first followers, follows Derek Sivers' program, moves forward, etc., etc. So crisis leadership, people, crisis leadership, get good at it, head into the crisis, not away from the crisis, properly armed, properly done, knowing that this life, no matter what, no matter how good, no matter how bad, the width of 2 hairs on your head compared to a 7.84 mile walk is nothing. So nothing is really good or bad compared to eternity. And eternity would mean what in our world today? Well, if time and everything started at the Big Bang, right? Before the Big Bang, there was nothing. So time started 13.8 billion years ago. Up to the present, that time would technically be eternity. That is eternity. You can then project it into the future, how long the universe is going to last. But right now, eternity is 13.8 plus billion years. If you were walking that, where every step was 1,000,000 years, it would be 13,800 steps times 3 divided by 5,280 is 7.84 miles. That is eternity. Take about an average person about a 2-hour walk on flat, smooth ground to go 7.84 miles. 1,000,000 years, that step divided by 100 years, let's say a lifespan of 100 years is 1/10,000th. 1/10,000th equals the width of 2 hairs on your head. So the length of our life is equal to the width of 2 hairs on your head compared to a 7.84 mile walk. So just imagine whatever adversity you have, whatever torture, whatever pain you're going through, if it would lasted for 100 years, ultimate torture for 100 years is as long as waiting for 2 widths of the hair, 2 hair widths on your head worth of time compared to eternity. So it doesn't matter if you're focused on eternity, you do the right thing, you run into the battle, you save people, you give meaning and purpose to their life, etc., etc., etc. Time is racing, so I'm going to say and cut. Boom.